you again, everybody, for joining us today. This webinar is From Chaos to Control, How Automation Propels Your Business Forward. Ashley and I are both super passionate about this topic, and it has been key to growing our own business. And so we know that it is super important for you guys to understand so you can use it to grow your own businesses. Just some housekeeping. If you have any questions during this presentation, type them into the Q&A box. We will answer them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. Ashley, I know, as always, will also be jumping in and answering those questions in the Q&A.
Yep, got that right.
So how much time are you losing each day, week, year because you don't have automations in place? And that can also apply to processes and AI. Like, how much time are you losing? How much revenue and sales opportunities are slipping through your fingers, right? Maybe you're so tied up in doing all these things manually that you don't have the time to take on new projects or to look for new work, right? So absolutely, the companies that are putting those systems and processes and automations and AI in place are going to be the ones that grow and are more successful. The success of business depends on having AI processes, automations, and integrations in place. Absolutely. And business is changing because of AI and all these systems and everything. You need to run a business that is lean, right? To be more profitable, to get your time back. If this is the first time getting to know us, we are from Home Designer Marketing, Ashley Blazing, and I'm Deborah Scarpa. We're a full service agency for interior designers and anybody in the design industry. We offer branding services, custom websites and website templates, strategy, copywriting, logo design, full service marketing services, SEO. We have a full SEO team, Google business profiles, social media, email marketing, online ads, and like we're talking about today, AI processes, automations, integrations, all those systems and processes to help you grow your business and get to that next level. If you're interested in like AI automations, you're not sure what needs to be done to move your business forward, definitely feel free to schedule a free consultation with me. You can either go to homedesignermarketing.com/consultation, or you can scan this QR code right here. And we'll also show that link at the end too if you missed it. And it is on our website. So today's learning objectives, what automation is. We're going to give you some basics so you can just really start thinking and understanding what it is, when to use it, how to leverage AI. So how to streamline and automate marketing activities with nurture campaigns, templates, calendars to make it easy for your dream clients to get started. When to automate sales activities to reduce manual follow-ups and improve client experiences from sales to onboarding. Ways to increase productivity by leveraging AI across your business to get more done. Think about every single part of your business. It could be something that has to do with marketing, sales, your operations, finances. In every one of those buckets, there are opportunities to have processes, automations, AI, all those things to help your business be more efficient. AI and automation software are transforming the landscape of business operations. Absolutely. They are transforming. And, there's been certain things that have happened when computers came along, right? That transformed businesses. When websites started, that transformed businesses. This is another really big opportunity and change in how businesses are being run. The companies who implement these over time are going to be the ones that are going to dominate online and grow. Absolutely. It is super important that you understand that. And they are just as important like processes. You can't do processes all in one day, right? I know like Ashley is the queen of processes here. She is like amazing at processes. She has been building our processes over years, right? Because you build one and then you need to build another and then you need to build another and then you need to go back and make one better, right? So it is AI and automation. I want you to think of it the same way as it builds on each other and you constantly need to build it and building it in those four buckets I talked about: marketing, sales, operations, and finance, right? Automation advantages, elements, and AI. So we're going to go through some of the basics. So I really want you to understand like how much control you have over those automations and what elements are in there and the advantages. So benefits of automating your business. So saves time. Absolutely. Like anything you're doing over and over repetitively, could you automate that and stop spending that time doing that manual task? Reduce errors, right? Reduce errors, improves efficiency, improves consistency, enhances client experience, right? They're going to see you as more professional. They're going to see you as being able to handle those larger projects. Just think about like this happened to me once. I was going to hire somebody. They were so unorganized during their sales process that I lost trust that they were going to be able to do the large project that I was wanting to hire them for, right? So, you know, all those systems, the company I ended up going with had systems and processes set up throughout that whole sales process. So then I trusted that they were going to deliver when we were working on the project. And that was absolutely my experience with them, right? I want you to think about that. Boost productivity, scales easily. You absolutely cannot scale your business if you're not doing processes. I know we're not doing a deep dive into processes today, but AI and automation is connected to those processes. It's kind of elevating those processes. So you can't scale your business if you don't have those things set up. Um, Obviously, even hiring people, if you don't have those systems and processes in place, you're not going to be able to scale. So it is the key to growing your business, increasing profitability. Absolutely. When using AI and automations. So just think about those four buckets I went over: marketing, sales, operations, finance, email marketing, lead nurturing, sales, online scheduling, email follow-up, social media, content creation, client onboarding, project management, proposal generation. There is so much that can be done to make your business so much more efficient. There is a lot of AI and automation software options. There is a lot. We, I just wanted to mention a few of our favorites. This screen here would not even hold how many there are. So, our favorites, ClickUp, project management, right? So we use ClickUp for project management, and the reason we like it above some other ones that we used in the past is it can be fully customizable, right? And it does have a lot of AI tools and automation tools that you can use within ClickUp that we absolutely love and take advantage of. High level, high level is for sales and marketing. It is not a project management tool. So it is ClickUp is project management, and you guys might have your own project management tool. Totally fine. Um, just think about you want project management tools moving forward that are going to be implementing AI and automations, you know. High level, we love high level. It has a lot of functionality and it is again sales marketing. Grammarly, I absolutely love Grammarly. Um, I use it all the time. And um, all these tools actually you can use to help you write content, write an email, all of that. I use Grammarly is to, help you improve your writing. Chat GPT, that
Everyone.
just does a massive amount of like, that just does so much. And anyways, that's like, you could probably spend a month talking about that.
You sure can.
um, I just want to go over some features that, like, for example, our high level automation software, some of their features, just so you understand, you know, how much it can help. So it has the
Things to
ability.
look for too. You want to make sure that if you don't have a tool that you look for these things right in there, because albeit it's a long list, having all of these things in one place, as you can imagine, is going to make your life a lot easier. So really take into account the number of features available in a single platform like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And but if you can have everything in one platform, that then it's, you're not like syncing different software and looking, you know, going to one type of software looking for your email marketing and then going to another one to see your client communications and, going back and forth between different software can be less efficient, right? So we're looking for what can be the most efficient. Let me go over some of them. Automation, integration capabilities, AI capabilities, online calendars, uh, CRM to build and manage your list. So start building a list of your clients, your past clients, your leads, custom website forms. So make them customized to ask any, questions you want. You can even have it ask questions and then send out an automation based on their answers. Website, email, surveys, email, text, SMS, marketing, funnels, lead funnels, Google social media ads, social media posts, proposal, invoicing, member only areas, mobile app. There's just a massive amount that can be done. In this section, I'm going to go over some elements of an automation. So if you're new to automations, I want you to think about and understand like these 7 different steps, and I'll be going over each of them. So, so you understand what can be done and how much control you have. So triggers, events that start the automation. So an event that starts the automation. Conditions help refine when the automation should run. And then actions. What happens after the trigger and conditions are met? So what action is taken after those triggers and conditions are met, right? Wait times, delays between actions. So you could have an action, then you could have a wait time of like 10 days, and then another action, right? Notifications and communications. So automations that send a message, right? So when something happens, then a notification is given. Integrations, automations connecting software like Zapier, which connects it like if one thing happens, you get a new lead, then Zapier might connect it to your bookkeeping software. Goals and stop triggers, like a trigger that's going to remove the automation if an action is taken. So let's get
Quick
into triggers.
example there really quick on
Oh,
that last one, so that makes sense. So if you had an automation running that was trying to get somebody to sign up for your initial interaction, such as a discovery call, and it has several emails or even text messages in there, whatever the steps are, a goal or a stop trigger would be, okay, if somebody actually ended up scheduling that appointment, exit that person from the automation so they stop being asked, right? Because then they go, why are you still asking me for a discovery call? I already booked it, right? So that's the kind of safety that you have with the automations in terms of like, okay, I'm taking all the manual stuff off my plate, but what if for these other scenarios, there are ways to handle those what ifs automatically.
yeah. Ashley, I'm going to have you go through these slides.
Sure. So a trigger is what makes an automation actually start, right? It's what triggers the flow, okay? So something has to happen for the trigger to occur. So the bulleted list that you see here are common triggers. There's about a million other things that could be considered a trigger as well, but these are the easy ones to get started with, right? So a big one is like appointment booked or whatever it is, right? In terms of the status of that appointment. So if an appointment was booked, you get a notification, they get a confirmation. If you need an opportunity added to your sales pipeline, tasks get added, whatever that may be in terms of your flow leading up to the appointment. And then the lead would also get, or the lead or client, depending on the type of meeting, would get reminders the day before, the day of, whatever you set, that's completely customizable, and then all the way through, right? So that's a very simple straight up trigger and automation workflow there. But you can also say, okay, a tag has been added to this person, so something else needs to happen. So again, a really simple one there could be that, let's say that they signed up for your newsletter list and they got added a newsletter tag. Well, that means they need to be put onto the actual newsletter list, right? Great that they have a tag. We want to make sure that they're actually on the list too, right? So simple things like that can really just make, again, your everyday easier, but that's what a trigger is.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have conditions and filters. So what this is usually if something happens, then put them down a particular path, right? So let's say again that your automation is triggered by a form or an appointment, right? And they have to fill out certain fields for that appointment. And you can actually put people down certain paths based on the information on their contact profile, which is what they filled out, right? So if they said they are a realtor, put them in this other path and they get an email that has to do with realtors, right? And I'm talking about a certain scenario of maybe a B2B relationship, right? But maybe they're a home builder, right? And you're trying to build a relationship with a home builder. That email might be a little bit different that is being sent to them. So if they're one person, they get a different email. If they're another person, they get a different email, and so on. You can do multiple branches, okay? So that again is just a really simple example of how branches can work. They can be based off of anything, though, as long as that information is attached to the contact. Okay, and then actual actions here. So those are things like sending the emails or the text messages, or if somebody signs up to be an actual client, maybe a tag gets added to them automatically that says client, right? So then you can create a list of your clients easily and automatically. Add to remove to run workflow. That's what we were giving the example of from number 1. So if something happens and we don't want them to continue receiving emails trying to get them to the next step, they already did that step, we can automatically take them out because of their action, right? You can also assign people to that client or contact, right? So if you have multiple team members and it's like, okay, this person reached a certain stage in the sales funnel, this person now needs to take care of them, right? You can automatically assign that contact to that person. You can update contact fields. So again, if they got to a certain stage and you want to mark somebody as maybe interested or they're in a proposal step, whatever that may be, again, all of that can be automatically updated. And then a secondary trigger to send data to external apps. So Deborah mentioned Zapier a moment ago. That is one, again, of many different softwares like that. What Zapier and similar softwares do is act as a middleman. Okay, so not all softwares natively talk to each other. So Zapier or Make or Nation, there's a lot of them out there that say, okay, I'll take this data that you're sending to me and send it over here. Okay, so a really simple example, again, would be an automation that says, okay, we're going to mark this person as a client because they're a one project. Okay, we're going to then grab their information, send it through Zapier, and add them as a contact in our QuickBooks. Okay, so now you don't need to go type in their name and their email, right? And all that stuff. Boom, it can all be done because they were marked as a client in a matter of seconds, and you don't have to touch it.
I love that one, actually.
It's a really good one that could help everyone today, right? There's also wait delay steps. So this is mostly used in appointment reminders, but there's also delays in if you're doing a nurture series automation. But if somebody came to your website today and booked a calendar or an appointment time with you for next Wednesday, you don't want all the things to go out today, right? So you have certain wait steps saying, okay, look at when the calendar invite is, and then wait until a day before, an hour before, again, whatever your preference is on those reminders. The other options are that you can say, okay, I've got a full automation set up and I'm going to send out these 6 emails to nurture my list automatically. I just want to set it up all at once, right? You can set up wait steps again so that there's a proper amount of time between those interactions going out, so that you're not just like hammering them right away with all of these emails. You can softly send out those messages. And then again, at the end of that, you would have a goal step that if somebody does whatever it is you're asking them to do, they just jump past everything and end the workflow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like even there's so many different ways that you can, so many different things that you can automate. Like even like let's say somebody cancels a meeting at the last minute and they need to be rescheduled, and you could lose that client if you're not following up with them consistently and setting up an automation to get them back on your calendar. Or even a client that's like you're working on a project with them and they get off your calendar and getting them back on.
Yep, exactly. If they canceled it but have an intention to reschedule kind of thing, yes, automatic follow-up. So you're not like, hey, 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 right? Take that off of your plate. Okay, and then I mentioned this on the last one, the goals and stop triggers. It could be an appointment booked. It could be even that like you're nurturing and sending out some type of lead magnet, right? And they went and downloaded it. So you don't want to keep asking them to download something that they already downloaded. So, and maybe that sends them to a different workflow that nurtures them for an additional type of lead magnet. Or because they downloaded that lead magnet, obviously they're interested. So maybe move them into another automation to say, hey, are you ready to book an appointment to talk about ABCD, whatever that is.
Mhm.
Okay, so the ways that you can make the automations even better, just literally having them set up is like life-changing, right? So get that part done, but then how can you improve? So Deborah was talking about the beginning of the presentation. Yes, you can get all this stuff up, but over time, you're going to want to improve them. They're going to change because technology changes, just as we're talking about here. Your team may change, your offering may change. All of these things can and will change, honestly, right? So you can have, and lead scoring, if you don't know what lead scoring is, basically it is a scoring system inside of a CRM that helps you determine who is the best lead or group of leads to check in with, right? So somebody has a higher lead score, they're a better, hotter opportunity and should be followed up with quicker, right? So AI can help you go, this person's super interested, right? Reach out to them. And maybe somebody else, their lower score, maybe they need to be put into a nurture campaign, right? Personalizing emails and SMS, which is text messages. So we've all been sitting at our keyboard before going, okay, I know what I want to say, but my email or my text sounds terrible, right? So utilize AI and tell AI, doesn't matter, use chat GPT, whatever it is that you want, and go there and say, here's what I'm trying to say, and we'll give you a little format in a little bit, but here's what I'm trying to say, here's the tone that I want, and here's what I want from this email. Like, do you need them to do something? Is it just a check-in email or text message, whatever it is, and have it help you. Give it the information, and then rather than sitting there staring at your screen trying to write that email, take the 30 seconds, type it into AI, it'll spit something back, you can do some iterations, and you're done, right? Content recommendations. So a really good thing that you can do with AI, and Deborah, if you want to chime in, I know we have a slide in a little
Yeah.
bit about percentages in terms of like how much should come from AI and you, but using AI to help you get further along in your content rather than, again, just sitting there at a blank document on your screen trying to write a blog post, right?
Yeah. And
So
I'm going to say that,
yeah, go for it.
I know that, most, we do have some designers that are, really good writers, but I would say most of, the designers we work with, writing is not their superpower. Like they are designers and beautiful designers, but, I really want you to think about, you guys have so much content in your heads. You have so much ability to put out good content. Using AI and the software now can absolutely help you, like, make it less stressful and really get some great content out there with not that much work. And we're going to talk about that.
Yes, exactly. So I'll jump to the next one here. So task automation. So using AI to assign tasks, that's referencing something that's possible inside of a platform like ClickUp, right? So there are other project management tools like Deborah mentioned, but an example of that would be, okay, we completed this certain milestone in our project. You can have the system automatically assign the next steps to whoever it is that it needs to do it. Obviously, this has to be all set up, but it can go, okay, team member A, right? Now it's time to do this, this, and this because this is done. Here's some notes from team member B, whatever that may be, right? And they can take it from there and go. So whether it's even you and another person on your team, or even just you, it still takes manual time off of your desk, right? Smart scheduling as well. AI can suggest optimal meeting times or reschedule appointments based on everyone's availability. So again, this is available inside of project management softwares, and it can go, okay, a meeting needs to happen on, again, maybe a particular milestone. AI inside of the system can go, I see everyone's schedule, everyone's available Thursday at 10 a.m., boom, booked, and you're done.
Yeah.
Right? You're not doing the song and dance of who's available kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, Okay, your availability is set. We can see a block, everyone's available, boom, done.
Yeah. And I like to think of it as like when I'm thinking about AI, that like having the systems and processes in place is kind of like the first step. And then adding automations on it like adds another level. And then adding AI onto it like really adds another level, right? Of like how efficient and how amazing that's going to be.
Mhm.
So I want everyone to take a second right now and write in chat, list an automation you would like to implement. I would love to see like which, like when you're working, what are you spending a lot of time on, or what tasks do you hate doing that you just wish was like automated? And absolutely, like you could hire somebody on your, team member to do it manually, but it's going to cost you a lot more. It's not going to be as consistent. It's not going to be as fast and efficient, right? So write in chat what you would like, what automation you would like to implement. We'd love to hear your feedback. So streamlining and automating your marketing activities. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into this. And I just want you to really think about this is super important. So when you're writing a blog post or website content using AI, this is really, really important. Duplicate content is bad for SEO. Google hates duplicate content, okay? It needs to be original. It doesn't mean that you can't use AI software. It means that you have to do it a certain way. So I want you to really think about 80% of the content should be from you, 20% from the AI software, right? I just use those numbers to like kind of give me an idea of like, I want the content to be original from you in your voice, communicating your value. 80% of that content should be from you, 20% from the AI software. It is really important when you're doing blog content, website content. It is not as important when, I mean, I still want it to tell your unique story and communicate your value. But when you're doing social media posts and email marketing, you know, it's not as important, but definitely website content, blog content, you don't want duplicate content. If you're purchasing content from, some type of service or another company and other people are using that content, um, it's duplicate content. I would not recommend that because it will really hurt your SEO. And SEO is super important.
Let me talk a
Um,
little bit too about that 80%, 20% thing and give particular examples just to make it a little more clear for everyone. So you could right now open up ChatGPT and say, write me a blog post about topic. 100% you could do that. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be unique. And it's not going to have your tone of voice, which is exactly what you don't want, right? It's just a lot of bad things, right? And it may turn up a blog post that is like half decent, right? But the problem is AI pulls from other sources, right? So that's what Deborah's talking about. So what you really want to do and how you want to start this is give it proper prompts. Again, we'll get there in a moment, but I just want to have you start digesting how this works. And you can have AI help you generate ideas and think about ideas. It's really important to like talk with it, which sounds kind of crazy, right? But go back and forth and really work on generating proper prompts and responses and really make sure it understands your voice so that you do get unique content that you pull out and you still put your hands on, right? So once it provides you whatever content, pull it into a document, still put your hands on it. Okay.
Yeah, and you can sign up with Chat GPT. Um, just go online and sign up. Um, we also have, high level ClickUp, Grammarly. You can just go online and, sign up for Grammarly too. Um, how to prompt AI for marketing materials. So here's a template that Ashley put together for you guys where, you know, Ashley, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so obviously the red would be where you fill in information, but this is how you prompt, and you can go deeper than this, but this is a good place to start by telling ChatGPT, or again, whatever AI that you're using, who you are, who you're serving, what you offer, where you're located, then what you're trying to do, right? Because like I said, yes, you can go right in and say, write me a blog post on ABCD, right? And it'll give that to you, but it doesn't know anything about you, who you're even talking to, right? You got to tell it all of that so it can learn. Okay. So as you write through this, again, fill in the blanks with whatever it is that you're doing, and you can do some pre-research to figure out what topics would be good. You can even ask what are the top topics that people are searching and talking about online, and get ideas that way as well before you even get here. But this will give AI a much better opportunity to give you a better response. Okay, so really prompting it, and that will be a long prompt there once you actually type it up, but you'll get a much better result.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you to think about all the different like nurture email campaign ideas, right? Welcome series, educational case studies, success stories, service or product spotlights. There's so much that you could write about. Free resources, checklists, testimonials, re-engagement campaigns, newsletter updates, personalized check-ins, upsells, cross-sells, feedback requests. There's so many different ideas. And then, automating calendars and reminders. So calendars sync to avoid double booking. So like if you have a Google Calendar, it can sync with like um, the high level calendars, right? So you can avoid double booking. And I think when people are scared of calendars, when I talk to them, it's they don't realize how much control you actually have. You have so much control over, you know, when you want them to book, and you can even charge for those appointments, online. So automated appointment confirmations, pre-appointment reminders, rescheduling, cancellation notifications, no-show reminders, internal team notifications. I would say, when people are working with Ashley and our team, what happens all the time is they'll say, "Oh, I'm really busy because I'm stuck doing all these tasks." And like mostly Ashley would be like, "Oh, well, I can automate that for you." And they would have no idea that that was even possible. And that happens so often where, Ashley will be like, "Oh, we can automate that." And it's maybe doesn't even take that much time. Yes, some automations are more of a build than others, but
Yeah, some are simple. Yeah.
you're investing one time and then it's built. And yes, software does get upgraded and break, and you have to update it sometimes and fix things, but not, that takes a minimal amount of time typically.
Yeah, and just yesterday, again, a really small example, a client reached out. She has an assistant helping her, and she's like, "Hey, when she puts something on the calendar, can I get notified so I know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you sure can. Like, if that's helpful for your workflow and she doesn't have to reach out and write an email saying, 'Hey, I schedule the calendar for this date or whatever,' let's do it," right? And that was like a 10-minute little thing to set up. So
Yeah.
really, really small things can really benefit every day for you.
Yeah, and now every single time that thing happens, there's that automation runs and they're running a smoother process. So, how to plan your automations. For one, you know, you really should be working with somebody who really understands like automations. Like, even for myself, if I want an automation, I go to Ashley. So that happens, Can you automate this? I'm tired of doing it manually, right? That's what I'm doing all the time. One, understand your goals. Two, choose your software. Three, map out your processes. Four, set up your software. Five, segment your list. Six, create the content. Seven, automate tasks. And eight, test and optimize. So, you know, definitely think about those things, but and how they can be automated. Um, you can, if you're just even trying to brainstorm, you can even use Chat GPT to, how do I automate this? It's going to give you an idea of what that process is.
Yep. And be careful to not jump to number four because it can be really exciting to go sign up for software and start setting it up, right? But you want to make sure that you don't get stuck in a software that isn't the best fit for you. So really make sure that you're looking at everything, mapping things out, and then going, okay, this is the best one because of my goals and the processes that I need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm somebody that just likes to jump into it, and Ashley will tell me, nope, we have to plan it all out. Absolutely. So write in chat, are you using any AI software? If not, why? Like, why are you not using it? Um, I know that like following that template, that format, just open up Chat GPT, start playing around with it. Give it information, tell it who you are. Think about if you're having a conversation with somebody that doesn't know anything about you. You can't just ask one little question like, write me a blog post on a kitchen remodel, right? Too vague. Streamlining and automating your sales activity. So, and I know I'm going to speed up a little bit just to make sure we get through all the content here. When to automate sales activities. So, after a new client signs up, so instantly send a welcome email, text, introducing your process and set up expectations. Um, when a lead books a call or meeting, automatically send confirmation and reminder messages, plus like pre-call resources or questions. After sales call or meeting, trigger personalized follow-up emails with next steps, proposals, or recap notes. When a lead goes cold or is unresponsive, start a re-engagement sequence with helpful content or check-in message. I want to bring up, Ashley and I had this one mentor quite a few years ago, and he would say, like, set your clients up to be A+ clients, right? If they're really not a good client, is it really that they're not a good client, or is it that you didn't set them up to be an A+ client, right? So having systems and processes in place and setting up the expectations and keeping them in the know and all of that is going to help set them up to be an A+ client, the client that you want to be working with. When to automate sales activity. So again, when a deal is won, send onboarding instructions, contracts, payment links. During onboarding, schedule a series of onboarding email or check-in reminders for routine updates, automate status updates, process reports, milestone celebrations. When collecting documents or information, send automated requests and reminders for forms, files, signatures. And think about this, you just have to really set it up one time and then it's going to work for you over and over. So it's absolutely worth the investment to set it up because then it's going to be working for you. For feedback and reviews, trigger requests for feedbacks or testimonials after onboarding. Um, so all of those things, and they will build on each other and start giving you your time back, helping you grow. And, I want you to also think about if you're offering like every possible thing to offer for your services, it's going to be harder to streamline and really get strong in your systems and processes and everything. Like the more that you can really streamline your services and stay in your superpower and build up these processes and automations and AI, in the services that you're really strong at, the more profitable you will be, the better like your services will be, like everything will be better. So here, example, sales to onboarding automation. Ashley, you want to go through this?
Yeah, I'll talk through this, and this really will show you, because this is several slides long, it will really show you how many possible things, and there could be more, right? But the big things that could be inside of somebody going from a sale to actually onboarding them, for you to automate or use AI. So we, of course, have somebody books a discovery call. We talked about it earlier. You received a notification in the calendar invite, and so do they. They get confirmation. They get all the things that they're going to need to attend that meeting, and they also get reminders, right? Their information is also sent over to your billing and proposal software, wherever that may be, right? Using something like Zapier, and they receive those text messages and reminders, or text and email reminders, I should say, right? So that's just because they booked a meeting, right? You haven't even spoken to them yet. That's all the things that can happen. You have the actual discovery call meeting, or whatever your first meeting is called. You can have AI create a notes recap of that call to include in your follow-up email. Again, so you don't have to sit there and stare at the screen and go, okay, let me fix my crazy notes here, right? Take your notes and put them into AI and say, hey, turn this into a follow-up email with next steps of 1, 2, 3, whatever the next steps are. You can go ahead to the next one. With that, depends on the type of person, right, that came out of that discovery call. So they were either a good fit and you want to move into the next step, is a bad fit, or it's a not now, right? If it's a good fit, here's the things that need to happen inside of there, right? They do a payment with their in-home consultation. Hopefully you should be charging for that. There's a payment confirmation, and that's all sent to your bookkeeping software, so you have it on your books, and then your lead gets a paid invoice receipt, right? Again, all of that happens just because we got them to the next set of in-home consultation, okay? If they're not a good fit, again, you should still follow up with whatever those notes were, pull out the things you don't want to say in that email, but say, hey, thank you for your time. Here's some, alternative solutions if you have any, right? And then a not now, how can you put them into an automation to check in with them for what they said, right? So if it's a, ooh gosh, like we're about to go on a 3-week trip to Europe, I can't start right now. That happens all the time, right? And you say, okay, well, I'll follow up September 1st, right? You can put them into an automation to follow up September 1st for you automatically. You don't have to remember, okay? Then the in-home consultation actually happens. Again, same things, notifications, confirmations, reminders, all the details, right? Your automation should also send things that you have. We were chatting in the chat a moment ago about welcome packets. If this is where sending a welcome packet is ideal, you can send that automatically to them, again, because they've signed up for an in-home consult. You can send them materials to prepare for their in-home consult, workbooks. There's all kinds of things that our clients like to send to make that consult really, really valuable. You can have a proposal contract ready to go if that makes sense for your business. Some designers like to come and say, okay, here's our stuff when I show up at the end of the meeting. If you're ready to go, we're ready to go, right? So could the automation create that proposal for you? And so it's ready for you to have open on your iPad or print it, however you do things, right? Get it signed, confirmation is sent to everybody, and then again, automated follow-up system for any cancellations to get them back on your calendar, because at that point they have paid for this meeting, hopefully. Okay. And then the actual onboarding, right? They become a client. So like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, okay, they're marked as a client. What can happen? Your team gets alerted of a new client. All of their information is added in your softwares, wherever it needs to be added, whatever you use. Create folders in cloud file systems. What that means is something like Dropbox, Google Drive. You probably have a foldering system that you use for every single client. That can all be done automatically. Can invoices be created automatically if that makes sense for your business and how you invoice your clients? And then, of course, a welcome email. And if that's where you send your welcome packet, you can send it there automatically as well.
Yeah,
So
there's so
that's just
much
one
that
piece.
yeah, there's so much that can be done. So write in chat, what sales activities would you like to automate? We'd love to hear from you. Now we're going to dive into ways to increase productivity by leveraging AI. So client onboarding with AI automation. So Ashley, you want to go through this one?
Yeah, this kind of takes off from where we just ended on the other slide, right? So something happens, something is signed, something is tagged, or somebody, I should say. So okay, we're ready to onboard. Use AI to draft that welcome email, right? If it's a template that's there, at least it's done 80% for you already, right? So think of it that way. If you don't want to have a more custom email every single time, have a template that's ready to go for you to copy paste, whatever it may be. But also use AI to draft the template, right? You don't need to write that all yourself too, okay? Use it at every step, even if it's something repeatable for later. Okay, our onboarding materials, that welcome packet, if there's an FAQ document, so they know what they're supposed to do next, right? Your client. And then also you can recommend resources based on their needs or project type, right? So if they're doing a big, or a good example would be like this client is a construction client and another client is a furnishings client, right? So they should each be receiving different types of materials, because the expectations of, you know, you tearing down walls in their house versus furnishings are much, much different. Okay. And you want those to be really unique to that client, so they feel like you're paying attention. Okay. Collecting their information. More than likely, you're going to want to send another questionnaire because you haven't collected everything you absolutely need to know before they're a client. So secondary questionnaires, send those out automatically. If they don't fill it out, your automation system can check in and say, hey, you haven't filled it out. Please fill it out, right? So again, you or someone on your team doesn't need to go check and send an email and all of that craziness. Have that happen automatically. Your kickoff call should also be scheduled. Again, it's going to give you all of the times that you can schedule someone on your calendar, all of the reminders and confirmations, all of those things will go out. And your task or your team can be assigned the proper tasks because someone has been marked as a new client, right? So marked as a new client, sends that information over to your project management tool, goes boom, new client, let's open a new folder or list, however you schedule or however you set yours up. And now all of the tasks are assigned and ready to go. One less manual task to open that up. Okay.
And I just want to mention, like, you can, like, if you're not great at writing, again, use these tools. Like with ChatGPT, you can download an app on your phone, you can talk into your phone and it'll write it all out. With Loom, which is, and Scribe, which are video like software, you can, like, after the video is created, you could create a video and then go to transcribe and it'll give you, you know, it'll transcribe your video and you could make that into a process.
Exactly.
Um, Documenting your processes. So documenting it with Loom AI. So record the Loom video, Then let Loom AI process the video and then share your document with your team. So you really can, be more efficient and, really make processes of every step of your business. So write in chat, are any of your processes automated? I'd love to hear your answer there. And I know we'll get to answer some questions. We went over a lot of content. We do offer that free AI and automation consultation. So go to homedesignermarketing.com/consultation, and or scan the QR code. We also offer a website audit, so you can go to our website and schedule a website audit if that is a better fit for where you're at. But either way, we'd love to help you out.
I pasted
Yeah,
that link in chat, by the way, to make it easy for you to
perfect.
click on if you'd like to go there. And I'm also going to add another link for our next webinar, which is actually a week from today with NKBA. And it's going to have more of the information that we spoke about today, but specifically around client engagement and the different ways that you can utilize what we talked about today for your engagement with your client, the client experience, and how to keep your clients happy. So I'm going to paste that as well if you'd like to join us. That is right there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the chat, and I know some people are saying they're afraid of it or it's a lot to understand. If I always think, stay in your superpower. If you're really stuck, work with somebody that can help you. Also, if you are just trying to figure it out yourself, sign up for Chat GPT and, play around with it. Just start
Experiment.
like practicing.
Yeah, just because you're, messing around and getting things generated for you doesn't mean you have to use it, right? You're just learning how to use it. So really play with it and see what responses you get, and you'll be able to tell and go, okay, I need to be more specific or give more information to this so that it's more unique to you. But definitely experiment it with it and play. It's not going to hurt, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say that, you know, and I'll even use the example, like I had to write a really big custom proposal, just a while back, right? And I roughly just wrote out some quick bullet points, notes. I put those, even as one section at a time, I put those into AI and just asked it to rewrite it into a paragraph. And oh my gosh, like it would have taken me hours to do it. And I saved so much time and it sounded amazing. Like it was a really nice proposal.
Mhm, mhm. Well, awesome.
Um,
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and hope you got some good value out of the session.
yeah, thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Bye.